child after his grandchildren. I think that I'm very close friend of his also. He was a great friend of mine, and I would insist that Shahid funeral should have been so great and nice to honor his contributions to mankind. And today I'm very amply satisfied and happy in one way that how you all have been nice and loving to him, that you have paid such a high tribute to him. I've seen a lot of funerals. I live in Europe, I work with Europeans, but I've never seen such genuine source and outpouring of grief. I have received nearly 6,000 messages. 6,000 messages. Yes, I'm a very social media person, but on the other hand, I have received 6,000 messages. I will reply all of them one by one because that's very important for me. But Shahid and I, from the background we come, I would like to explain it because we are not some great European or American family that we have come here and made great marks. It was purely due to the kind of vision our parents have instilled in us. The credit go to my father and my mother, that who all of 5 siblings that we are here, all 5 of us, because our parents, being in a small town, Sakkar, which is in Sindh in Pakistan, instilled in us a kind of a global vision. You know, my early memory of me and Shahid would be what? You will be surprised. We would be discussing layman. And by the age of 11 and 12, we were not that privileged, but we had a library that my old man would take us. My father was born in 1890. My grandfather was born in 1850. We are 200 years of history between this man sleeping here and I am still awake. But soon I'll join him. But at the end of the day, that's not a very big deal for me because it's nice to have a celestial perseverance, and thinking of that has been integral part of my life, and we have discussed it several times. So I'm telling you that this 200 years is very unique. My grandfather was 1850, was born, Maulvi Ghulam Qadir. He was a clergy of a mosque in a district called Shahpur in east of Punjab. My maternal grandfather comes from UP Muradabad, which is Nogama Sadat, the basti and the village of the most hardened Shiites imams in Nogama. We come from that kind of background. And what happened? What changed? In 1915, my father graduated from King Edward Medical College. That is 104 years ago. In 1915, my maternal grandfather was thrown out of the village in UP, in Uttar Pradesh, for being a heretic because they expected the Baha'i faith. And they were thrown out. And that is a kind of rich history we bring to the table. And therefore, what our parents taught us was that you come from a very rich background of culture, tradition, history, love, care. And we promoted that in our own country. Still as of today, we love our country. We go back to our country. Shahid would go back, I would go back. And we promote a lot of activities, not only in India and Pakistan, but in Sri Lanka. His donation of cornea is basically the work we do. Today I will open up because we do a lot of work in Sri Lanka. We make toilets in India. Anisa Latif and Dr. Latif Foundation have made 260 toilets in India for girls. And I would discuss with Shahid and Shahid said, let's do it and we will do it together. Nobody knows in this world. Nobody. 260 toilets for the girls who do, because 550 million people have no defecation facilities in South Asia. So for the girls, it is a real issue. So we did that. We support the leagues, institutions in. And Shahid would say, Iqbal, let's do this. I doubt that ever in my life, I and Shahid have not talked about a new charity or a project. And there is no favor to anybody. That's what it meant to him and it meant to me. And that is what I take great pride in my brother. Therefore, I have not dropped a single tear except just now I cried when the 2 drops came out of my eye. I'm a very broken person. I'm a broken man. I lose a partner. I come to New York for 40 years. The first thing I would come in, my brother would be there to take me. This is the first time in 40 years that I come to New York. And this city is not the same city for me. Will I ever come back here? Yes, I'll come because my sisters are alone here. So I have to come more often. We had some plans. We had some plans to do a few things here in New York, and I was working on it. And then we were working on some polio eradication programs in Pakistan on the ground, buying the medicine, giving it to the teams going into the. And then we had this Dunkin' Donut agency in Pakistan. We never, 14 years have not been to Pakistan because of my preoccupation, but Shahid would. And what we do, we started a national breakfast program, and on mutual instigation, what do? We go out and give this breakfast and milk and water to children who, and where did it come from? From Sakkar. Because I would remember as a child, I would see that a lot of children would not have those privileges. And 14 years ago, when I went to Pakistan, and I see my agencies and all, I would see that shoeless children watching at the shops with kids, and then I decided, against the policy of the Dunkin' Donut, that we will distribute food because they think the brand value will lower if poor people will eat it. We do it. We said you can take our agency away. We will lose all the money. Not trying to make an impact here. I'm not interested in that. But I named that program the day Shahid died, that he will never die until I am alive and our agency alive, Shahid Latif National Breakfast Program. Today morning, we were in a disability institution, 500 breakfasts we distributed. As my dear friend Tariq Abdullah and my brother, and he knows, and a lot of people know, that Tariq read a hadith of Prophet, peace be upon him, that he said that what remains are the deeds that go with us. And our parents taught us. We love every prophet and every religion. I consider Islam, Christianity, Judaism, Baha'i faith on equal pedestal. I consider no priority of a human being. When we meet, all my 3 daughter-in-laws are from India and Hindus. They practice their religion in our house. And same Shahid did. Openness of mind is one of the most important things, and freedom and tolerance of each other. We come from a background where Shahid, what all this crowd is all about, every person here. And the reason is he showed love. And that love comes from doing. And that doing comes from every morning you get up, you think, what am I going to do for someone else? That's what drives my life. Pontification is easy. Clergy is easy. There is no clergy to be seen in this place. 1975, my father died. In small dusty town of Sakkar with 54-degree temperature that day. 30th of April, my father died. And naturally, I and Shahid watched my father because no one else wanted to come and watch an infidel. So naturally, but that never stopped my love for my nation. I said, these people will learn one day. I and my father, and we were young people, I was 16 or 17. Watching your father, who is an old man, is not an easy task. We shrouded him. It was not as great a departure as this is. We went to the carpenter, we asked him, come on, can you make a box for us? Because this is not the tradition in that town. He made us, we in our little way went into market. I still remember the shop. I bought satin, bought cotton, made a nice, that's the way we wanted to do exactly the way our parents have told us to do. And we buried him, I and Shahid, with 6 or 8 of our friends. Because nobody wanted to touch, because their heaven will become a little bit disturbed. No, that was very worried about it. So they wanted to stay away. And there was announcement, so what? This is the kind of thing that we have seen. And this is the kind of love. We redoubled our effort. We started loving more. That listen, you have to, and I tell you this funeral service may be something strange, but in 100 years from now, all your children will do such funeral services for our next of kin. Because that's the only way mankind will survive. What did Shahid bring to me? Shahid bring to me something very early on in my life. Why do I respect him so much? From my bottom of my heart, I've never seen a more intelligent man than him. And people say I'm quite intelligent, which I'm not, because he is more. I tell you honestly, he's much more intelligent than me. And anyone who has any doubt, and I know anthropology. I read it inside out. He put me in that path. Aaron said a beautiful thing. I know astrophysics. I learned Carl Sagan. Shahid proved me into it. Yes, he was not as articulate as me. Yes, his English was not good. But the reason was simple. He had ADHD. And the teachers could not understand. The worst incident I remember from my childhood was that I will never forget myself. I was in class 5, he was in class 8, and the principal called me and said, look at your brother, he cannot pronounce or write Karachi. And in front of the 50 people, Shahid would not be able to do it. He would still write Rotary as R-O-T-R-A-Y. And I don't mind it at all. I take pride. Because what he did, many people who write Rotary in the right way could not even imagine what he has done. What is the point of being, but attention deficit disorder, he compensated it by doing extraordinary things, service to mankind. And what we are doing, continuing programs, is what our effort is all about. And that is what Shahid brought on the table. There are 3 deaths of man. John Paul Sartre said that. It's an old Mexican saying also. The 3 deaths of man is, one is when his heart stopped and his brain stopped on 9th. Today is the 2nd death, when we'll intern him after an hour, or half an hour, or 1.5 hours. He'll go for, his corporeal existence will go, and his corporeal existence will be eaten up by the insect. He'll become the part of the greater sentient earth dust, so stardust that we are. And this is the 2nd death. The 3rd death is when the last time your name is ever taken. And that is what, if you want to give credit to your family, to your mother, to your father, let their memory live. The 3rd death should never happen. And that we can do it. All these families here, the children, the nephews, nieces, the Yazdanis, the Marshalls, the Latifs, and they all came on their own. They all dropped because Shahid had done so much for every one of us that they all wanted to come. I did not ask anyone to come. He was in IMS conference, my son, Rehan. He was meeting them. He dropped it. Yesterday he cancelled all his meetings. So basically he said that, no problem. So that's the kind of love and respect my family and the Yazdanis, Nikki, Naida came all the way from Cambodia. And why? Because it's still disturbed. But we are also very happy in one way. We are happy because death has to be beautiful. This is a beautiful death. Every one of us will die. But to have such a beautiful death is such a great honor. And I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart, every one of you who have come here from all walk of life, from all walk of ideological differences that we have. Shahid has been able to put us all together in one room. And that is something magnificent. That is magnanimity of his character. And I tell you, I will not have a funeral like him ever, because I don't have that kind of sense of personality what Shahid had. As I've told you earlier, I'm giving that credit to my brother, because he introduced to me knowledge, wisdom that we all transpired. Yes, and that is the kind of thing that when we talk about, when I will talk to him, let me tell you, life after death, I and him will talk on the level of sentient stardust. What is stardust? Who are we? We would consider and talk about Carl Sagan, that these 2 atoms have 2 different elements and compounds from 2 different galaxies. That's the kind of discussion we would walk. We were last in Venus, and then he came to Paris, and then I went for a wedding with him to my friends in Florence, And the first thing we would decide would be, let's go and see David. Let's go and see Mona Lisa. We'll not go and see a zoo. No, never went. No, that's it. He would, and we went many places. The first thing I would go is, yesterday my friend said, let's go to New York, and I wanted to walk past those things, how I started. And let me tell you how we came to New York. I used to work in Paris, and in Kuwait, and Shahid said, my sisters came here, and the Shah had followed them, and then I was in Paris, and I started coming to New York. And one day we were sitting there, and I took out, look, small little thing, no show off, no business, took out Manhattan map. And I said, Shahid, listen, just I and him talking. I said, listen, this 125th Street is strange. Manhattan has no place to grow. He said, yes, you're right, Iqbal. I said, let's go buy buildings beyond 125th Street. Swear upon God. Not that we had too much money, but luckily, whatever. So we went, within 72 hours, we bought 19 buildings. 72 hours. New York Times correspondent, Rick Stack, and I hope Thomas McDermott, our first lawyer, is here today. I think I can see him, Tom McDermott. He was there. He said, should I write the story that you Kuwaitis are buying the whole Harlem? Because Harlem in those days was not a nice place to write about, because things were poor, they were not very good. 125th Street onwards, Columbia Street, Amsterdam Avenue, was the worst places to be. We started going there, Shahid started going there, and that's how we started into real estate. And by the way, it was not that. How did I come to know? Because in 1981, my company I worked for, I was working in Park Avenue. The Park Avenue Plaza we built it with Fisher Brothers. So what I'm trying to say, that the beauty of life was that Shahid and I would, in the flip decisions, do things which lasted into birth of his next generations, with his next things. And I wanted to give total vote of thanks and regards that I will always be a junior brother. I'll always be a younger brother. I'll always be a brother who always looked up to him. And I respect him so much that you can't believe. Yes, also I'll acknowledge, I and Shahid, you should be a fly on the wall when we had an argument. And on religion, I have different views, very different views. I will bet that he had a different view, but we differ. But you should be fly on the wall, what the difference is there? One day, Asan Karim was driving us to Amir, and he started discussing religion, and he actually opened the car, walked out. He said, no, I'm not listening to all this. All this religion is a bit too much for me, but it's okay. But for Shahid and I, we would get to agree, and then he would say, yes, you have. So that's the beauty of it. We had lived with our differences. He respected me for who I am. He never tried to tell me, Bal, no, you are not the right man. I said, Adam said a beautiful thing. He taught him independent investigation of truth. And I said, Chad, listen, Dad left Islam, Granddad left Islam. So I had also allow me to be investigation. I'm doing independent investigation of truth. He said, God damn it. No, this is for all. So what I'm trying to say, there was not always the same thing, and that's the beauty of it. Today, we celebrate his death. Today, we are happy that such a great man who had such an influence on all our lives have left us. I'm ever grateful to you, ever thankful to you that these small little things, if you do for somebody else, we will continue to keep him alive. We will continue to have, one last thing, and I'll close my thing, that something which is very important, something, cry from the heart is the most important cry. If you look at it, Russian literature is one of the best literature. Pushkin or Boris Pasternak, or we are doing a play right now, and I told Shahid, and we are trying to put Anna Karenina in a musical form. It has been done 12 times, but I'm working with some of the top musical directors to do it in Paris for 48 shows all over France. So I was telling Shahid, and the beautiful thing, Russian authors are one of the best in the world. You know why they are best? Maxim Gorky, War and Peace, Louis Tolstoy, for example. Why? The truth they tell you. It's not the embellishment that matters. This is the truth that we are ordinary people. This is the truth that ordinary people can attain best values by being ordinary and reaching out. To reach out, you need to be ordinary. You cannot be arrogant. You have to be humble, you have to have humility, you have to have love, you have to have care. And that's how you bring Americans, Pakistani, Indians, everyone together. And that is the only way that mankind will survive. Otherwise, we'll annihilate each other. The walls don't make love. Beds make love. You have to be together to make love. Not you put a wall in between a bed, that does not work, does it? No, the point is, so that is the beauty of it. Shahid has left beautiful memories. I will say a very warm goodbye to Shahid. Goodbye, my brother, and we'll follow you. It's a question, my brother-in-law died in Bradford, Leeds. That was some time ago, and I was telling Neda, my nephew, and Nikki, that when I first came to my sister, she invited me from Pakistan in 1977. So there was a friend of his, my brother-in-law friend, Shahroz, and both were in paint business. And Shahroz was a great man, handsome, tall, as good, and Nuri was a great guy, and we used to have great fun. So Nasreen's husband I'm talking about. So he died of cancer, brain cancer, glioblastoma. And when I was going to bury my own brother-in-law, who died after several years, so I saw the grave. So as I was walking past, I still remember in the cemetery, it is Shahroz's grave, and then you walk past, and then it's next day. And I made that statement, and it's my status in Ideas of the Day. I said that the question is, we are just few meters away from each other in the graveyard. It will be one corner. I will go in the other corner 10 meters ahead if I'm lucky. If I'm not lucky, and I'm very lucky, then I may be 1 meter ahead. Makes absolutely no difference. What makes a difference is how much impact you made and the service of mankind, true service of mankind. Be nice. Reach out. In the morning, reach out. Think about those who are underprivileged, disenfranchised. Reach out to them, and you see your life, all your depressions will go away. My sisters will go out of business. I tell you honestly. You want to put them out of business? I swear on God. I see them practicing flourishing every time they tell me 26,000 customers, 50,000 customers. I said, I wish people start loving each other. I know, put it together, open the doors of your house, have dinners, share your little morsel. Little dal and chawal, whatever you have, little chicken, little anything you have, share it. And you see your life becomes so beautiful.
Thank you.